You ever have one of those days where you think, okay, this is bad, and then somehow it just keeps getting worse? Yeah, mine started with a plane crash. A literal plane. A Cessna dropped right out of the sky and slammed into the back pasture of my property on a quiet Tuesday morning. I heard the roar, saw the smoke, and sprinted outside thinking maybe I could help, maybe someone was still alive in there. But before I could even get past the fence, Vivian Brooks, the HOA president with a god complex, came strutting down my driveway like she owned the place. Clipboard in one hand, cheap power trip in the other. And what did she do? Did she help? Did she call for medics? Nope, she locked my damn gate. I'm standing there, smoke billowing behind me, fire trucks pulling up with lights blazing, and Vivian's blocking access like she's guarding Fort Knox. "You are in violation of Meadowbrook Heights community standards," she shrieked. I mean, genuinely shrieked. "And I am invoking emergency HOA protocols." I could barely get a word in. Couldn't even explain that I wasn't just some guy with a nice ranch. I work for the federal government. Deputy Chief of Staff for National Security Affairs. White House clearance. But she didn't care. She slapped a padlock on my front gate right as the fire captain walked up, and the look on his face said it all. Like, what kind of lunatic are we dealing with? And I wanted to yell, "It's not me, man, it's her." But the damage was already done. I watched those responders get delayed by 10 full minutes while they called in bolt cutters. 10 minutes while a fire smoldered out back. 10 minutes that could have cost lives. But to Vivian, it was a power flex, nothing more. And what do you know? The cops showed up not long after. 2 squad cars, lights spinning. Guess who ends up in handcuffs? Not Vivian. Me. In my own driveway. She stood back like she was watching her masterpiece unfold, arms crossed, smug smile, neighbors peeking from their porches, whispering, pointing, recording on their phones like I was some criminal mastermind. Never mind that I had government credentials sitting inside the house and a secure line to the White House I couldn't even get to. To them, I was just some guy causing trouble. Vivian painted me like a menace, and they all just believed it. They took me downtown, stuck me in an interview room for 2 hours until Detective Martinez walked in and dropped a photo on the table. Vivian at my gate holding the padlock, checking her watch like she was planning the whole thing. "We're letting you go," she said. "But what's the deal with your HOA president?" That was the moment I realized this wasn't just about a crash or some backyard drama. Vivian was on a mission. She'd been trying to undermine me since the day I moved in, and this crash gave her the excuse she'd been waiting for. When I got home, my neighbor Reed, retired firefighter, stand-up guy, met me at the gate, handed me coffee, looked me straight in the eye, and said, "Dylan, you're in for a war." Turns out Vivian had pulled stunts like this before. Tried to evict another family after a kitchen fire. Filed noise complaints against emergency responders. This wasn't new, it was just escalating. And man, did it escalate. Next morning, the feds showed up, NTSB, my security detail, all of them. And what did they find? A damn construction zone. Vivian had put up cones tape, even made little signs saying the area was under HOA quarantine. She met them wearing a hard hat, I kid you not, and handed Agent Brooks a laminated protocol card. Like the HOA had jurisdiction over federal crash sites. Brooks looked ready to blow a gasket. But Vivian just smiled and said, "We must ensure safety before allowing investigative activities." I wanted to scream. We tried to move forward. I called in reinforcements. I presented my credentials. Nothing mattered. Vivian called a community meeting and made a circus out of it, waving photos announcing a $5,000 fine, claiming I'd endangered the whole neighborhood. The board backed her up. They locked me out of my own property. She turned everyone against me. Even Reed started catching heat for just talking to me. But here's the thing, I'd been documenting everything. Security footage, phone logs, audio from meetings. And when Vivian made the mistake of hiring a group of teenagers to tamper with the crash site, that's when I knew I had her. I let it play out, every swing of their hammers recorded. Every whisper caught on mic. Her voice clear as day, instructing them to focus on the sensitive electronics. Then she flipped the script, claimed I was the one destroying evidence. Showed up with witness statements, called in the news, told everyone I was faking my job title and covering up a crime. But this time, I was ready. I streamed her entire act live, played the footage for federal agents and neighbors alike, let them watch her lie, then showed them what really happened. Reed backed me up. Agent Brooks confirmed everything. Even the president got involved. Sent a rep to address the community and shut the whole thing down. Vivian Brooks was arrested on the spot, obstruction, tampering, false reports, the whole 9 yards. A month later, Meadowbrook Heights voted to dissolve the HOA. People came out of the woodwork apologizing, telling me they'd been afraid to speak up before. Turns out Vivian had bullied half the neighborhood into silence for years. Once the dam broke, her empire fell fast. I thought it was over. Then I got a letter, no return address, just a note in Vivian's handwriting that said, "You may have won this battle, but I have a long memory." I laughed, dropped it straight into the trash. Because here's the thing, Vivian never understood. Power doesn't come from rules or clipboards or fines. It comes from truth. And when you've got the truth on your side, you don't need to scream or manipulate or threaten. You just wait and let the truth do its job. So yeah, a plane crash changed everything. But in the end, it wasn't about the aircraft or the fire or even the feds. It was about standing up to someone who thought fear could win and proving once and for all that it can't. Now tell me, what would you have done? Was I right to fight back, or should I have walked away? Drop a comment. I want to hear what you think.